I really believe that God is a miracle-working God and that He works miracles in the lives of ordinary people every day. I want to tell you a real-life story about a little girl called Kadelia. Just 3 years ago, one of my daughters, I seem to have so many of them, everybody seemed to come and call me mommy. But this particular one, my husband met on an airplane many years ago, and she came to be with us for a while, and we sent her to college. The rest is history. She's done so very well. She's married, and she now has 3 children. But the first one, Kedron, didn't make it because Jennifer couldn't carry the baby full term. The second one, Kirshan, he is a great miracle because he was just over a pound too. And there's a great story to tell about Kirshan. But Kadelia, she is a great miracle. The doctor said that Jennifer couldn't make it full term. She was only 5 months pregnant, so they had to take the baby. Jennifer was suffering from high blood pressure. Both of their lives were threatened. And the baby came out at 1 pound, 3 ounces. That's not even the weight of a bag of sugar. She was so small. She was a living miracle. She was alive. After an evening at the hospital, something happened where the baby was off oxygen for about 15 minutes. And there was a great flurry in the hospital ward. And when Keith and Jennifer found out what had happened, they found out that something really serious had happened to their baby. They were told afterwards by the doctors that they couldn't do anything else for the baby. Their only alternative was to call upon their God if they had one, or is it Allah? So they turned up at my door later on that night, Keith and Jennifer's sister, and I took them straight to this very kitchen, Cadell's kitchen. We were seated on stools just like I'm seated today. And I began to talk to them about the prayers that the church had put up for both Jennifer and Kadelia, and about all that the doctors had done. But I pointed out to them that there is something more that they needed to do. They needed to call upon their covenant God for themselves. You see, God is a covenant-keeping God. And the Bible tells us that God honors his covenant to 1,000 generations of them that love him. God cannot turn his back on his covenant. That's why the Bible tells us to remember the covenant of God, because God is a covenant-keeping God. I explained all this to Jennifer and Keith as they sat, and you can imagine the state they were in. And I instructed them how to pray and how to call upon God. I'd never heard Keith pray like that in all my life that I've known him. And I've never heard him pray like that before or since. And Jennifer also called upon her covenant-keeping God. And after we had finished, I remember Jennifer's sister saying, "I'm sure something has happened because I've never heard Keith pray like that before." When they went back to the hospital the following morning, they found the doctors and nurses in great hurry. They were trying to get Kadelia ready to take her to another hospital where before they wanted to do an operation on her and she wasn't well enough to do it. In astonishment, the doctors didn't know what had happened over the last 10 hours. All they knew was that Kadelia's condition had improved so tremendously that she would be able to undergo that particular operation. When Kadelia came out of hospital 4 months later, she had to have an oxygen tank fitted in her home and a small one fitted to her cot if she went out or in the car. But after a while, all of this was dispensed with because Kadelia became a normal little girl. Just look at her now. She's just full of mischief. Everywhere she goes, she's just such a beautiful, lively little girl. And I tell you something, every time Kadelia comes to church, I may be on the pulpit preaching, but my eyes just get filled with tears. I get so emotional because I remember that Kadelia is indeed a miracle and that our God performs miracles even in a kitchen. Jennifer and Keith tell us that everywhere Kadelia goes, she's a bundle of joy to everybody, and they cannot understand. In fact, they don't believe that she has undergone all that we have said. In fact, they don't even believe that she was premature because her appearance doesn't show it, her actions don't show it. Nothing about her demonstrates that she was premature. Can you believe it? That's the amazing God we serve. It is quite unusual for a child who is born at 24 weeks to survive and be like Kadelia. In fact, most of the babies who were in hospital at that particular time, who were premature, didn't survive. But thank God, we serve a covenant-keeping God who hears and answers prayers. I believe that what God has done for Kadelia, He will do for anyone, anywhere, because God is not a respecter of persons. If you have been touched by the story of Kadelia and Cardel's Kitchen, why not call us on 0208 318 2369 or email us at life@lwcf.co.uk. And remember, Jesus loves you and He has a miracle for you.